Have you ever felt confused around a woman, unsure whether she actually likes you or if it's all in your head? She looks at you longer than usual, then quickly turns away when you catch her gaze. She accidentally shows up around you more often than seems random. She smiles at you even when you haven't said anything funny. Maybe she's flashing a green light, you just haven't learned how to see it. In this video, you'll discover 3 powerful and subconscious signs that a woman is genuinely into you, how to read her body language, her eyes, and her quiet presence. And most importantly, how you should respond so you don't miss a real opportunity. Watch until the end to realize feelings aren't always expressed with words. Sometimes they're just waiting for you to notice and step closer. Sign number 1, she unconsciously mirrors you. At a small coffee shop in Austin, Texas, David, a graphic designer, recalled his first date with Emily, a colleague who had recently moved from New York. It was a chilly day, wind rustling through the window panes, coffee dripping rhythmically in a quiet space. They sat across from each other, chatting about work, music, and even random things like their mutual dislike for mint-flavored ice cream. At the time, David didn't notice anything unusual, but later, he remembered placing his arm on the table just a few seconds before she did the same. He shifted his sitting position. She shifted too. He gave a soft smile, and her eyes lit up as she smiled in perfect sync. Without needing any explanation, those little movements said it all. Their feelings were moving in harmony. In psychology, this is called mirroring. It's not a calculated move, nor some trick to impress. It's an instinct, something that naturally happens when 2 people feel connected. The body adjusts rhythm, posture, even facial expressions to match the other person. Like 2 dancers finding themselves moving to the same beat without needing a signal or a word. When a woman feels safe around you, when she's curious and open, her body will begin, unconsciously, syncing to your frequency. It's her way of saying, I'm here, I'm present with you. Not to impress, but because she feels free to be herself in your presence. The remarkable thing is that mirroring isn't just proof she likes you. It's also a mirror showing that you've done something right. You didn't pressure her, didn't act superior. You were simply yourself. And it's that very honesty that allowed her to open up and align. In an age where everyone fears being hurt, emotional safety is rare. And when a woman mirrors you, it means that, in that moment, you've given her that rare gift without needing to say a single word. Sign number 2, she finds ways to accidentally be around you. Jake, a software engineer living in San Francisco, isn't the type of guy who overthinks or romanticizes things, but he clearly remembers the presence of Rachel, a colleague who worked on the same floor, always giving him pause. She was just there, Jake recalled. When I went downstairs for coffee after meetings, she'd be picking a bottle of water. When I told a story about my cat jumping on the dinner table, she was the first to comment, even sent cat memes, even if they didn't quite fit the conversation. At first, I thought it was coincidence. Then she messaged me privately. You always make me laugh. I think you're the only fun person in the office. That's when Jake realized she was being intentional, in a subtle way. Women rarely show up directly and intensely like they do in the movies. They don't stand in front of you and say, I like you. They choose a softer approach, creating accidental meetings, a shoulder bump in the hallway, a short comment on your story, a look that seems to say, I'm here too. The truth is, no one coincidentally shows up around you that often unless they want to. And for women, the approach is often emotional strategy wrapped in delicacy. They don't want to pressure you. They want you to notice them. And once they sense you're aware, they'll take another step forward. But if you keep missing the signals or seem indifferent, that quiet initiative will retreat as softly as it came. The beauty lies in that delicate distance between being near and not intruding. A smart woman won't invade your space, but she'll make her presence known. It's not coincidence. It's a signal, an invitation, a fragile hope that you won't miss your chance. And if you do miss it, it's not because she wasn't clear enough, but because you've grown too used to waiting for something big and obvious. But sometimes, what truly matters is just a third glance that lingers, a simple good night message, the way she keeps accidentally being there, waiting for you to speak. Sign number 3, her eyes never lie. Have you ever felt that someone was looking at you, not with an ordinary glance, but with something deeper, warmer, almost like silently calling your name? You turn around, catch that gaze, and in a split second, it vanishes. That person quickly looks away, as if afraid their feelings had just been exposed too clearly. At a crowded train station in New York, where people pass each other with hurried glances, a girl recalled the first time she saw the co-worker she secretly liked. He was on the phone, leaning against a pole, staring into the distance. I couldn't take my eyes off him, but when he turned and looked at me, I panicked like I'd just been caught red-handed. All I could do was smile and quickly turn away. That story might sound a little silly, but in truth, it's one of the most honest moments a person can have, because the eyes never lie. Words can be calculated, actions can be disguised, but the gaze, especially the gaze of someone in love, can't hide a thing. When a woman looks at you longer than necessary, when her eyes light up just because of something you joked about, or when you catch her staring in silence, and she quickly looks away, a little embarrassed, that's her heart speaking. Before she even realizes it, before she dares to admit it to herself. And if you look closely, you'll see that her eyes are like a door, slightly ajar, inviting you in, but not yet brave enough to open wide. A woman's eyes don't just express interest, they carry vulnerability. Because looking at someone with full honesty is a very risky act. In a world where everyone holds up a little armor, a true unguarded look is an act of courage. It's a quiet way of saying, I see you. And at the same time, a small plea. Please don't make me regret looking. So if you catch a gaze like that, don't ignore it. Don't break it with arrogance or coldness. Smile gently. Look back with kindness. Because that might be the only moment in an entire journey when two souls, once strangers, finally touch without a single word spoken. Bonus signs, and why men often miss them. There are signs so subtle you can easily overlook them. A smile without a reason. A time she repeats something you mentioned weeks ago. A moment she fixes her hair just as you walk in. There's no confession, no candlelight, no background music swelling like a scene in a movie. Just simple, everyday details, but hidden within them is a care that has no name. Men often miss these signs, not because they don't care, but because they're used to things being obvious. They think affection only shows up when someone texts them daily, asks how they are all the time, or says outright, I like you. But women are different. Their initiative is often wrapped in subtlety. They won't push you into discomfort. They simply plant little seeds and hope you'll notice without them having to say a word. So instead of only chasing after some big, obvious moment, learn to observe the quiet things. Notice how she's near you without a reason. Notice how her head lifts slightly when you enter a room, or how her eyes linger a little longer when you're speaking. That's not coincidence. That's waiting. And if you've seen those 3 signs, mirroring, consistent presence, and an honest gaze, then take a step. You don't need a grand declaration of love. Just a small question, a casual walk, or even a look back with sincerity. because maybe the only thing she's been waiting for is you to finally say something. Closing. Real feelings rarely arrive with fireworks. They come gently, warmly, and sometimes in the most uncertain forms. But if you know how to listen, if you dare to believe in those small signals, you'll realize love doesn't have to be loud to be deep. A woman may already be giving you soft looks, quiet presence, and subtle acts full of meaning, just waiting for you to step toward her. So don't just stand still. If you've seen those 3 signs, don't stay silent. Take that one small step, because maybe the moment you finally speak is when she truly begins to smile.